everyone, it's Morgan. I'm here with Michael from Coles of London, and he is in the store with us for the whole weekend to celebrate our 2nd year anniversary. He brought in some awesome pens, and we just wanted to welcome him and do a quick little interview. So welcome. Thank you for stopping by Greenville this weekend.
Morgan, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure being here.
So why don't you give us a quick little overview of Coles of London and what they do?
Well, Coles of London, we are the distributor for two major brands in the pen industry. One is Visconti out of Italy, Florence, and the other one is Dupont out of Paris, France. And we're very happy to have both brands and being able to represent them both. I think both brands offer fine luxury writing instruments, and they are different from each other, so it makes sense as well for a distributor as us to carry them both, to offer you as our client a different experience while buying into both brands.
Yeah.
So it's very, very interesting times right now, very unique times of course, but we're very happy to have both brands.
Awesome. Are there some exciting things that are coming up this fall or winter for either brand?
Well, no, of course.
Tons of things.
Of course they are.
What can you talk about? We'll start there.
That's good question. Why don't we start with something that actually just happened?
Perfect.
On Visconti, we just launched the new Dante Alighieri, which is actually a pen that I have on display here. We have a phenomenal display that I wouldn't call it an everyday carry pen.
No.
But it's just a beautiful writing instrument that tells a little bit the story of Dante's life and Dante's Inferno, and goes into a lot of details, describes kind of your way from hell to heaven. And on the pen itself, I'm just going to grab the pen a little bit and show everyone. So it's a beautiful, first of all, it's a very, very large pen. It's a beautiful ivory colored resin with a nice scrimshaw technique, sterling silver trims all around. Just a pen that's based on some older models or previous models Visconti has done before, like the Declaration of Independence or the Leonardo da Vinci La Macchina. The scrimshaw techniques are just really Italy or Visconti is really famous for. So it makes it really cool. Features the new in-house 18 karat gold nib. Just overall a gorgeous looking pen. The pen is limited to 321 pieces, and we hope you guys are as excited about this pen as I am, to be honest. It's just cool, and every single time I put this pen back into the stand, it's like, wow, it just sits right.
Yeah, it fits so perfectly. So this one is already out then?
This one is already out. It actually just came in this week. So we're starting shipping it out, and it's just very, very exciting, yes.
Awesome. And what about the case that it comes with? Is there anything inside as well?
Well, it's definitely a larger box. It's a stand that's inside, and then actually you have just a lot of storage room inside.
Okay.
You have a little bit of history about Dante, about how Visconti came up to design the pen. So it's a little bit of history about the whole story about it.
Awesome.
Just a beautiful box overall.
Very neat. Anything for us to Dupont right now?
Yes, but I'd like to cut you off one thing, because this is a pen that I guess everybody is waiting for. A lot of people have seen some advertising for it already. It's called the new Homo Sapiens Ember.
Okay.
The Homo Sapiens Ember is kind of the flagship pen for Visconti, and whenever we're coming out with a Homo Sapiens, it's just something everyone is waiting for. It's cool, it's different. This time I think we topped ourselves, or Visconti did. They did for the first time ever a carbon fiber Homo Sapiens. It's not just a basic carbon fiber. No, Visconti took it a step further. They did a bronze wire that is woven through the carbon fiber, which makes it highly, highly unique, highly different. It has a magnetic closure. So everyone is asking why no hook safe lock. Guys, it's impossible to do it on the carbon fiber. It's too scratchy. And no, just the thought about it. No, not a good idea.
Gives you chills.
Exactly. Nice 18 karat in-house gold nib. Just a gorgeous pen. And this pen, guys, is coming out within the next couple of weeks.
Ooh.
So this is what I'm very excited about.
Awesome.
Well, but then now I answer your
Now
question,
that
as
I
Dupont,
said.
so I had to do that. The one thing that I'm probably the most excited about is because we didn't have a limited edition for the past 2 years because of the pandemic with Dupont is Space Odyssey. Space Odyssey, why is that so fitting right now? We know with everything that we're hearing about space travel, Elon Musk, Virgin Atlantic, do what they're all doing with going into space. It's just, I think Dupont just hit it on the head with a collection that's dedicated to space travel. And if I can show you, you probably have seen it already on the table sitting in front of me, looking at a rocket in a pen, lacquered with a natural lacquer in up to 9 different layers to show you the depth of the lacquer. And almost like once you're looking at, you're staring out, up in the sky at night.
Yeah.
It's so unique, it's so cool, so different. This set is very limited on the market, where it's limited to 399 pieces. Features a 18 karat gold nib, beautiful grip section, just an amazing limited edition. Up to me, I think it's one of the nicest limited editions Dupont ever came out with. But okay, that's just my personal taste. But it's just really cool. For the ones that really don't want to have the stand and the whole launch pad, there's as well a large line D Space Odyssey. We call it the premium pen. Features very similar lacquering techniques. Just another beautiful pen, and this could be your daily writer.
Yes,
but this is becoming more the piece that
Right.
sits on your desk. So features a 14 karat gold nib. To everyone who's interested, it's on the market now. So we got the first ones in, and we're very happy about those 2 lines. It's just pretty cool.
Did those take a while to manufacture and come up with the details and ideas on those?
Yes. Yes, it did, especially because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I first saw this pen in June 2019.
Oh wow.
So that's when we saw the first prototype, and I thought, oh my God, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
Can we have it for that Christmas or for that holiday season? No, Michael. No, we're looking at 2020. I said, okay, all right. 2020 came around, nah, we can't do it. So yeah, really, the pandemic has shifted and has moved everything a little bit, but nevertheless, I'm happy that we have it now.
I'm sure they also wanted to, really get the details right. I mean, with you said 7 layers.
Up to 9 different layers.
9.
Actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so they spent their time and they did it right.
They do, and so many people ask me all the time, why so many layers? Why are you doing this? Well, you have to imagine every single layer you can only use one color, and in between every layer it has to dry for 24 hours, and then so that explains how 9 layers, it takes at least 9 days, or let's say 10 days, and actually just to get the lacquering done, you have to do all the metal work around it, get the nibs fitted, nibs tested, and it's a process.
Right. Well, so I'm going to pivot here, but how did you get involved in fountain pens? I think that's always an interesting story to hear.
To me, it was an interesting story.
Uh-huh.
Growing up in Germany, I was born into a family that was connected to the jewelry industry. So I was working jewelry for the first 18 years of my life, and loved it. But selling jewelry and being in the United States, selling German-made jewelry was always a pleasure. Was always something special to me. And then I first met Mike, the owner of Coats of London, and we then kind of talked at shows, and I bought my first pen. It was a Divina ballpoint. I still have it, by the way. I still like that pen. And but as everybody says, a ballpoint. He bought a ballpoint. Yes, I know. I bought a ballpoint. But make a long story short, this is when I first found my passion. I thought, that's so good. Then I bought a few more pens, like it happens. And then I got into fountain pens, and now I have a pretty big assortment of fountain pens, not just Visconti, not just Dupont. There are a lot of other brands that I do carry as well, and I do appreciate. But it's just, I think that's how I got in. And then 2 years after I bought my first Divina, started working with Mike, and that's when everything really took off. Doing my first pen show, I can tell you it's a difference to a jewelry show. And I thought, oh, that's a different world. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's really a lot of fun. I love it, and I can't wait usually to go to the next pen show and exchange ideas, trade pens, talk to people. It's very exciting.
Do you go to a lot of pen shows then?
Usually yes. Last year it was a little bit different, but I think we're doing, I would say 6 to 8 pen shows. I'm probably attending 5 to 6 a year, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So tell me what a day in your life looks like. What do you do day to day?
What do I do day to day? So whenever I talk to people in my office, they say, Michael, you're on the phone all day long. So that probably describes it best.
Yes.
But what am I doing on the phone? Well, I'm trying to solve problems or trying to sell product. Okay, my day pretty much starts. I like to go to my office, start it easy, check all my emails routinely, and usually I start at breakfast table, to be honest, once my kids are out of the house. Then go to the office, check my emails, have a lot of phone calls, usually with France and Italy to begin with because of the time difference. And then by the time I'm done, it's usually noon. I said, okay, let's start with the real work. Then there's a lot of phone calls with dealers, a lot of phone calls with with my sales reps or our sales reps, and that's more or less it.
Yeah.
So and trying to write an order along the way, and what I do like as well is coming up with new ideas, and Mike and I would both do coming up with ideas for new pens. How can we keep these brands exciting? How can we keep them interesting? And this is, I think, one of the reasons why we're coming up with so many US exclusives, because we stick our heads together and come up with ideas. And I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you've only got the 2 brands that you guys are focusing on, but I think you guys put a lot of work and thought into those. They're very nice luxury pens that you guys put out. What does your thought process and then development look like from the idea of a pen that you guys come up with, or you're talking with somebody else and you put your heads together and come up with an idea, to having this final product ready to sell?
So besides the pens, of course, that Italy is coming out with, when we have our own ideas, it's really studying the US market, or after a while you just know the market pretty well, and you get an idea what's interesting, what could sell, what are the trends, especially when it comes to colors, when it comes to different kind of resins or techniques or size of a pen. So you come up with an idea and say, hey, how about we have a new Homo sapiens, for example, and say, hey, a new Homo sapiens, what could be interesting about a new Homo sapiens? What haven't we done so far that the market is asking for?
Right.
And I think take the carbon fiber, or take on SU Dupont the diamond guillotine, which we came out with at the beginning of this year, end of last year, where we said, listen guys, the Dupont was all very glassy, so let's do something a little bit more crazy. Not another black pen, do something colorful.
Yeah.
So that was the thought process behind the guillotine, but not just the lacquer by itself, go back to the roots, use techniques they have used 2 decades ago and haven't used them for a long, long time. And it was a challenge to convince the French to actually do this, and as well for them to have the craftsmen to actually still execute the work that we had requested. But when all things are coming together and you see the final result, and to develop this pen took a year.
Oh,
wow. Then you really see, it was worth it. And that's the real exciting part, where you say, wow, we did that.
Yeah.
And I think the more often you do it, the more of a routine you're getting in it. But there's one thing that always stays the same. It's exciting to get this first prototype in your hands and yeah, we did well.
It's real. It's coming to life.
Well, sometimes you say, well, no, we still have to make some changes.
it's not going to work out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an exciting process, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
So it sounds like there's a lot of collaboration that happens.
Yes,
Yeah.
it needs a lot of brain power and a lot of different. How shall I say? How shall I word this the best way? A lot of input from different sides.
Yeah.
It's not just that I could say, hey, it was me who designed the pen. Forget it. No, there's a lot of people. It's Morgan and I when we sit together and discuss it. There's a whole team that I would
Right.
like that we ask for questions for input. Then you have either the French side or the Italian side that give their input. So I think it takes a very, very good team to come up with a new idea for a pen.
Yeah.
And but you consistently have to think about it, work about it, and come up with something, because otherwise who are our customers going to say, well, what's new? If I don't have anything new, it won't be, you
Yeah.
have to keep it exciting.
Yeah. I'm sure something like this then takes a lot of brain power and different
Yes.
collaboration, lots of heads being put together.
When you do certain things like this, and this takes, as I said, this takes years usually. From an idea that you first put on a piece of paper, get feedback from a lot of people, and then everyone kind of saying, oh, I would like to have it this way or this way. How about this? And then filter through the ideas, through the inputs that you're getting, and then come up with the final idea, put it on a piece of paper. But that's only the first step. Now it's on paper. Now hand it to the next guy who's actually working on the pen. This, making the pen. So, well, guys, this doesn't work. This is impossible to do. The technique, we can't do it. So then you have to redesign again.
Yeah.
So when it comes to such special limited editions, this is where a lot of work goes in. And even though once the pen is designed, so how about the display?
Right.
Nowadays you want to have a nice display with a pen. It's not just all about the pen. It's as well about the display. How do you change the display? How tall is the angel? How tall is the devil? It's got all these little things and details that go into it. But that explains as well why limited editions are rare, why they are limited, why they are more expensive. Because a lot of people working on it, putting their hands on it, and that's probably the reason why consumers, including myself, love buying limited editions. Because it's just that someone put a lot of thought into that, and it's not just a machine that's spitting out a pen.
Right.
It's really something that someone's crafted, It's and I think that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's way more thought put into this than I could even imagine. Like, the height of those figures, that I wouldn't even think about that. I think if you just, make it. Someone's back there.
Exactly. Well, it's not that easy. Let's put it this way. It's really, as I said, on every step of the process, there's something unique or something different, and some problems, some good things. Not everything goes smooth.
You have to run into some problems.
Exactly.
Of course, yeah. So my last question then for you is, what is the craziest or coolest pen story that you have?
Well, that's a good one. I think there are a lot of fun stories that I had over my tenure, and a lot of interesting things that happened either on a pen show or a pen that I personally purchased, or when I visited a factory and really saw how a pen was actually made. This is really exciting and gives you a different perspective. But I think one of the few things that I always think back of is when someone that you think you associate with a pen is actually buying the final product. And when Visconti had the Declaration of Independence, which hopefully most of you know what that pen is, it was one of the best, if not the best, limited edition Visconti had ever made. And it was very, very successful, of course, especially in the United States. But when Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day actually bought that pen from us and sent us a letter, a thank you letter while he was governor, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool story. I think that's probably one of the best ones that I have to share.
I think that's pretty cool, especially you think about what the purpose of the pen is, what those thought processes were going into it, and then somebody like that buys it, that full circle moment right there.
Yeah, and when you can see it fitting, when you kind of can see it fitting, and it's like a guy like him who made the move from Austria to America, like me who made the move from Germany to America. We both are citizens, and we both found what we were looking for in the United States of America, and then see the Declaration of Independence, which is kind of like this symbol that you have, and then actually someone like him buying the pen is kind of like, gives you this kind of like, yeah, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why this story sits with me so well.
Yeah, very memorable. Well, thank you so much. We're excited to have you here for this weekend. If you guys did not get the chance to shop anything in store this weekend, we will have all of this available for you online as well. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.